Namaste.
Hey, Gurudev.
Hi, my name is Deepika Konakanchi, and I am a researcher in biomedical engineering at the University of Memphis. And my passion is teaching breathwork and meditation as a lifestyle coach, teaching people how to live lives more happily and in the moment and sustain happiness for a longer period of time.
Hi, my name is Shubhana Rajan, and by profession, I'm a physical therapist. But just like Deepika, my passion as well is yoga, meditation, breath work, the benefits of that on the human body and on our lifestyle. And the two of us are very happy here to talk to you all about the benefits of Ayurveda and Sattvic cooking and nutrition as a way of health.
So let me start with what is the definition of Ayurveda? What does it mean? So Ayurveda, the word itself comes from two root words, Ayuhu and Veda. Ayuhu means health and Veda means science. So if you look at it, Ayurveda is a science of life, or it's the art of living life holistically. Unlike the approach of Western medicine, where a person gets a disease and then the doctor treats the disease, here it's quite different in Ayurveda. When you go to an Ayurvedic practitioner called a Vaidya, they actually are able to treat you holistically even before the arrival of a disease. So it's more of a preventive and a lifestyle approach, and living life holistically from day to day.
The Vaidya is typically looking to enhance your health from whatever level you are at this point to give you that 100% boost in energy, vitality. And Ayurveda believes that when prana or life force is high in the body, the manifestation of disease does not happen at all. So you typically see a Vaidya, a good time to see a Vaidya would be before symptoms arise. So there's an approach at prevention, which is emphasized more than an approach at curative options. Ayurveda can cure conditions as well. But in the process of curing, Ayurveda actually recommends a change in lifestyle, modifications in your diet, your exercise, to the minutest detail of what you use on your skin, what kind of oils you use on your skin, what herbs suit you, what you should not eat. That's how Ayurveda approaches life.
Yeah, I was just blown away the first time I went to a Vaidya. Though growing up, we pretty much grew up in a lifestyle based on Ayurveda. But the first time I went and met a Vaidya, he told me that there are joint pains coming up in your system, and I'm like, really? I'm quite fit and healthy, and sure enough, after 10 days, I started experiencing joint pains. So this is how predictive, how powerful Ayurveda is. And if you go to a really good, well-trained Vaidya who has a lot of experience, they're able to predict your disease way beyond, because the manifestation of the disease in your system, in your mind-body complex, is way ahead of you actually seeing symptoms in your body.
The other interesting approach when I met a Vaidya was for the very first time. I went in prepared for a lengthy conversation, blood work, tests, and actually, the Vaidya really relied on none of those things. The amazing Vaidya was able to tell me not only about future possible illnesses, but also on what happened in the past in my body, all from a test called as Nadi Parikshan, where they examine your pulse. If you're curious about it, we do have referrals to a good Vaidya for you, and you can reach out to us. But it was amazing, this experience, and um, the thoroughness and the comprehensive nature of the exam and the advice given was very, very comprehensive.
Yeah, so that being said, Ayurveda, prescribes a solution, a long-term solution to, uh, to health rather than symptomatic treatment. Ayurveda does very little of symptomatic treatment. It's mostly treatment at a whole body level. So sometimes it's very interesting that when I say I have a knee pain, the doctor might end up telling me that you actually have too much gassiness in your stomach or something, which is causing this knee pain. And the logical mind will say, how can that, what is the connection? So the holistic and the holistic nature of Ayurveda is that every part of our body mind complex is connected. We can't treat one part separately. It's not like a drug delivery system where you go to one specific part. It's very at the whole body mind complex level. So that brings me to want to tell you something very interesting. So um, so we are not just our body. There are 7 levels to our existence. I'll let Shubha take it forward and tell us a little more about what makes us up.
Yeah. See, the body, like Deepika said, is only 1/7, or it makes just a little part of us. This body would not exist on this planet without the breath, right? The breath keeps us alive on this planet. The breath also provides us energy on this planet. In addition to that, we are made up of our five senses. We interact with this beautiful external world through our five senses. We also are made up of the intellect, which is what sets each one of us apart from not only others, but also other species that share this planet with us. We are also a product of our memories. We are also a product of our ego. And beyond all these layers, we also have, and this is called different names in different cultures, but we also have something called as the Atma in Sanskrit, or the soul, or the self, or the spirit. And like I said, the terms are could be very varied to describe this, but there is this thing about us that also is a part of our existence. Ayurveda believes that balancing all these layers will result in better health, better mental health, physical as well as mental aspects of health. And that enhances human life, prevents disease, and brings about what Ayurveda likes to call as the blossoming of the human potential.
Yeah, so there are, just like there are 7 levels to our existence, there are also, so if we look at our life, and if we were to look at what is actually causing imbalances in our system, and which of these 7 levels is affected, then that's one step towards leading our body to be happy and healthy. And now the second step is a lack of energy. Like Shubha said just now, we have a lot to do in our life, and modern day living. It's not like I can be a mom and I can just be a mom. It's not like that. I'm a mom. I have a career. I have the family to take care of. I'm a cook at home, and we have so many roles and responsibilities. And when we are not able to balance out these roles and responsibilities, then that leads the way to health conditions
Stress.
come creeping up later.
Right. See, in simple terms, we get stressed out when our task list is very long and our energy resources or time resources are short. So that is when we end up with a feeling of being stressed out. The thought that I did not meet all the expectations that my day had for me is often the source of stress. This over a period of time will have an impact on our physical health, which I'm sure everybody knows, and this has been proven a lot by medical science as well, that stress can aggravate most health conditions, can make a back pain a lot worse. Going through a stressful period, aches and pains are worse, your blood pressure is worse. So we are well aware of the multitude of effects stress can have on the body. Now, it comes to the question of how to bring more energy into the system so that we have the resources to meet the demands that our modern day life has for us.
Mhm. So that brings us to how to increase our energy. So if we were to categorize what are the four sources of energy, we can categorize them in four buckets. One, the most grossest form of energy, as we all know, is food. So eating the right kind of food, the right quantity of food. So we'll get into that a little more after we just go through all the four sources. So the first source is food. The second source is sleep. We've all noticed that if we've had just a 2 hour sleep at night or no sleep at all, next day we are not going to be efficient and productive. And on the other hand, if we have slept for 12 hours, then also we are very sluggish and we're not able to handle the day with vigor and energy. So the right amount of sleep. Then the third source of energy, whether we see it or not, very obviously is our breath, because without our breath we are not going. So we can live without food. For people have been able to survive without food for about 30 days. People have been able to survive without water for maybe 5 to 2 3 days.
Mhm.
And without the breath, how long can we survive? Just a couple minutes maybe. So the breath is so important, and also we release a lot of toxins from our body through the breath. And yet modern science has shown time and again that most often people are using only about 30% of their lung capacity. So breath is a very, very important source of energy. So we're going to come to a little bit more detail about each of these. And then the fourth source of energy is a meditative, a calm, relaxed state of mind. I'm sure we've all noticed this, right? When we are among kids and we're very happy and calm and centered and relaxed, then whatever we say or whatever we do is more productive and is more, on the side of being, um, bringing happiness to
Mhm.
us and people and around us.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure some of you have noticed, just a 20-minute practice of yoga asanas clears your mind, gets your thinking better. You're able to be more productive, and that's why yoga in the morning sets the tone for a really effective day, and gives you a better quality in your life. But balancing all these four sources of energy is the way to go for 100% effective day and life. Ayurveda takes a lot of interest in the food, and as well as the all the items that come in contact with us. The one thing I really liked about Ayurveda is that it takes into account that the skin is the biggest organ the body has, and anything that you apply on the skin is also being absorbed into the body, and that is going to affect your energy levels. It's also going to affect your health. And the Vaidya can also tell you on what substances applied on your skin and your hair are good for you, what substances are not, and how it impacts your physical as well as your mental health.
Yeah. So now coming to go into a little bit more depth about food, right? What kind of food is the right kind of food for you? And that's a question that we can probably talk about for, I don't know, hours, but we'll keep it short and we'll kind of bring you a gist of what Ayurveda talks about food. So, before that, I'll take a step back and say that, when Shubha talked about Nadi Pariksha, so they check your pulse. And when the Vaidya checks your pulse, he finds out what is your nature, and then what is the abnormality that's going on in your system right now, and that they define by a combination of three terms, and they are called the doshas. The doshas. So the three doshas are pitta, vata, and kapha.
So, pitta dosha typically means you have a higher amount of fire element, or your gastric acids are higher in functioning. This also means that you're probably going to digest food very, very quickly. The breakdown of food as it reaches your stomach is very fast for you. So that's a good thing. You have a good digestive fire or a good digestive agni. Pitta person will also have a very sensitive skin. So they really need to watch what they apply. And I would suggest, if you are curious about your dosha, you should really consult an Ayurvedic Vaidya. One little fine print about doshas is we're all born with a certain dosha. But in addition to that, the other doshas can affect our system depending on the seasons, the age that we are in, and also the diet that we are eating. Diets can also either calm a dosha or increase its potentiality. So that's a little bit about pitta. Deepika, would you like to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'd like to share an example here. Like when Shubha talked about pitta. So, if somebody has a pitta nature or a pitta, what we call as abnormality, or an increased pitta or a lowered pitta, and then they're not aware of that. And then, say somebody who has an increased level of pitta and is just going on eating a bunch of spices on top of it, cayenne pepper or black pepper, then for sure their pitta is going to get even more aggravated. So it's a very good thing to know what is your prakriti means nature. What is your nature? What is your body type? What has nature made you as? And that doesn't change throughout your life. So pitta, we talked about pitta. The next kind of dosha is vata. Vata is a very, very people with a vata dosha, predominant vata dosha, they are they're very you want to talk,
They
Shubha?
are restless. The air element in their body is a little more predominant than the other elements. We're all made up of five elements, but some just in a little higher quantity, and that's what it is. Vata dosha will, or aggravation of vata, or too much vata, will end up giving you physical aches and pains, will give you digestive issues like gasiness,
Mhm.
and so that's something to watch for. Now, certain kinds of foods will aggravate vata, so it's probably not a good idea to be eating those if your prakriti or your personality happens to be of the vata nature. The third kind of dosha is the kapha dosha, where the earth element is predominant, and this also has its own rules and guidelines on what will aggravate it and what will control it. Now, you can also see the doshas in a person's behavior. For example, when pitta is high, a person is likely to get more angry.
Yeah.
When vata is high, a person is likely to be more restless.
Yeah,
When
all out. Yeah.
Yeah, when kapha dosha is high, they are likely to be more lazy, lethargic, or that they feel there is a higher need of more sleep in their routine. So, not only do these doshas affect our food intake, our food choices, they also affect our mental status, and they also affect our behavior.
Yeah, so it's a very, and our vikriti or our abnormalities in these doshas change from time to time. And it also, like Shubha already mentioned, the seasons, in summertime, it's heat outside. So the heat inside also, if we don't take care of it properly, it can aggravate the heat in the system. And,
Mhm.
typically I sometimes get blisters, boils in my body, and that just is a quick indication that the heat in my system has gone up. And in that time, there are very quick easy remedies that if I follow, then it comes back to normal. Like one one recommendation that every vaidya of Ayurveda will say is abhyanga, body massage. Using a good oil which is appropriate for your prakriti, your nature. If we and I've noticed that a profound impact. So we would think, typically that applying, like Shubha said, our skin is like the biggest organ of our body. But it's amazing that just applying oil in our body in a certain way, in certain movements on our body, in our skin and our hair, can have an impact, a profound impact. Knee pains and back pains can vanish just by doing a little massage to the
Yeah, and
body.
who doesn't love a massage? If you look around nature, nature gives you certain fruits, vegetables, certain foods are available in certain seasons. Ayurveda recommends definitely eating based on what grows in the season and what grows all around you as well. So, we in our modern day life have deviated a little bit in this. And so, one very simple thing for all of you to take back from this would be to eat based on the seasons and to eat based on what grows around you, your farmer's market, your local sources.
Right, and also to eat in a certain, Ayurveda also talks about having a routine, doing certain things at a certain time every day, like eating breakfast at the same time every day, lunch at the same time, dinner at the same time every day, and also eating similar kinds of foods. Today's cosmopolitan kind of nature, diverse nature, we have adapted kinds of food from all over the world. Even some days I cook Thai, some days I cook Italian, some days I cook Indian. So we have adapted this, but we have to also adapt that to make sure that we don't take our system out of whack by not have, our body get used to a certain kind of food and a certain rhythm. So it's good to stay in the rhythm, like there's a rhythm in nature, there's a rhythm in our body, there's a rhythm in all our seven levels of existence that we talked about, and it's good to stay with that rhythm and not just a very simple tip, which I was astonished when I came to US for the first time, was in a very cold in winter time too. It alarms me how people drink a glass of cold water or water with ice. Ayurveda, like, kind of tells us to not do that, in that season, to drink more of warm water. That's better for our system, or at least water at room temperature. So that's one thing I have learned, and that was a takeaway for me, that, and my kids also, we only drink water at room temperature. That kind of helps balance and not go away from nature.
Yeah, but I would recommend talking to a Vaidya, getting your Prakriti examined, and also getting your Vikruti examined. The Vaidya will give you information on both of those things and then following those guidelines. Deepika and I would like to share with you a very simple Ayurvedic recipe that can really help you bring your doshas back. Doesn't matter where you are right now and whether you have access to a Vaidya or not. One simple recipe to bring all your doshas back into balance is the Ayurvedic khichdi. This is very easy to make, and I would add a little fine print that I use my crock pot for this rather than standing on the stove and stirring it. And it's something that actually everybody in my family also looks forward to eating. So, Deepika, would you like to share that khichdi recipe?
Yeah, sure. Khichdi is one of the easiest things to do, and it is so it's very yummy. That's one beauty in Ayurveda that I've noticed, that the recipes which they say this is really good for you, sometimes we think, okay, how is it going to taste? But it tastes great. So, and it's so simple to make. There are just 5 or 6 ingredients. I'm going to state them and you can note them down if you like. So, rice, split mung beans, and then turmeric, salt, and cumin. These are the ingredients, along with some ghee. Ghee is clarified butter. So the procedure to make the khichdi is you wash, we always wash the rice and the dals, so an equal proportion of rice and dals. So if you're probably cooking for 2 people, I would say maybe a quarter cup of rice and a quarter cup of dal. You wash them nicely and take out whatever residues come out, and put it in whatever pot you're cooking. Like Shubha likes to do it in the crock pot, I like to do it in the insta pot, sometimes I do it on top, on stove top, so depending on whichever you are comfortable with. And then as much rice, so if you take a quarter cup of rice and a quarter cup of dal, I would add about 6 cups of water. It takes a lot of water to cook this. A pinch of salt as per your taste. Some, you throw some cumin in, and maybe a quarter to a half teaspoon of turmeric powder, and then let it cook. In the Instapot, typically it takes me at high pressure about 9 minutes to cook, and done. You eat it with a little hot. So it's very important to eat this hot. It tastes yummy when it's hot. When it's cold, my kids like to call it concrete. It can get hard and not so yummy. So hot khichdi with a dollop of ghee on it, it's great. So whenever you feel that there is, you're feeling a little disturbed in your stomach or your skin, then couple of days you can try to, this is a very good detox diet, for a couple of days, just going on a khichdi diet. And in a khichdi diet, we don't eat anything else but khichdi. So 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, some khichdi and fruits in between. At that time, we don't eat vegetables either, just for 1 or 2 days. And then you get back to
And
normal.
it's really easy once you put it in the crock pot because it'll stay warm for you. It'll be ready for you. And it multiplies. So, just a quarter cup of each ingredient and it multiplies. And that little bit of ghee really makes it yummy.
Mhm.
So, try this recipe and let us know. I hope you enjoy it too as much as we do.
Yeah, and then so like the next thing, we've talked a little bit about food, we've talked about sleep. Now we'd like to throw some light about breath and meditation, and how Ayurveda prescribes breath and meditation as a very vital part of staying healthy.
So we'll work on a little breathwork technique. So let's sit up straight, keeping your spine erect as tall as you can. This is called the fire breath or bhastrika, and it's a very nicely energizing breath. And I call this my 4 o'clock cup of coffee because when I do this, I don't need that. So you're gonna sit tall with your hands, make a loose fist, and hands by your shoulders. I think I'm gonna scoot back. Hands by your shoulders, and a smile on the face always helps. Well, you can watch me and then watch me for a couple of rounds, and then you can start doing it yourself. So I'm going to close my eyes just to go inwards. Take a deep, normal breath in and breathe out. And then the next time I breathe in, my hands go up, my fingers open, I reach up. And then when it's time to exhale, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, out, in, out, up, down, 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 and relax. Keep your eyes closed, bring the hands on your lap, palms facing the sky. Just take a moment to see how your body, how your system is feeling. Now we'll do one more round of the same thing. Hands in loose fists by your shoulders, elbows bend. Bring a smile to the face. Take a normal deep breath in and breathe out. And then we'll begin. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, up, down, up, down, in, out, in, out, up, down, in, out. Two more times. And relax. Once again, palms in your lap facing the sky. And just observe how the body feels. And then we'll take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. And we'll go into a meditation. Just sit comfortably and easily. Keep those eyes closed. Keep the awareness within. Gently become aware of any sounds in your environment. Maybe the air conditioner, maybe the birds. Just accept all the sounds in your environment. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your feet, your knees, your thighs, and your hip joints. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the low belly, the rise and the fall of the abdomen as you breathe in and out. Become aware of your chest, the movement as you breathe in and relax and breathe out. Become aware of your shoulders, the hands. Take a normal deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the head and the face. And as you breathe out, relax more and more. Become aware of your thoughts, however they are, accept them. Observe them like the clouds on the sky and let them float away. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. Slowly and gradually become aware of your body. Maybe you rub your fingertips, bring a little movement. Take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out with a smile on your face, you may open your eyes. Welcome back.
Thank you, Shiva. Thank you. That was amazing meditation. So there's a question from the audience: what kind of oil would you recommend? So it's best to get to
Talk
a
to.
Vidya and find out your prakriti, because based on the prakriti, different prakritis, different oils are good, and sometimes the wrong oil also can cause irritation in
Mm,
the skin and the body. Yeah.
mm,
We've like touched, this is a very, very vast topic, and we have touched the tip of the iceberg today, talking about Ayurveda, talking about the breath, talking about food, Prakriti, doshas, Vikriti, lot of concepts which are, probably take much longer to get into the details of it. But I would like to share with you one thing that Shubha and me are a part of, and we are a part of this international educational organization called the Art of Living Foundation, where Ayurveda is a big part of this of our organization. We have a beautiful Ayurvedic facility in our ashram in Boone, North Carolina. It's called the Art of Living Retreat Center. So, for any of you that are interested in a holistic Ayurvedic massage or a consultation with a Vaidya, you can reach out to them. So, it's the Retreat Center in Boone, Art of Living Retreat Center. That's one thing. And second thing, we teach an amazing breath and meditation workshop called the Sky Breath and Meditation Workshop. Sky standing for Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. And this, both of us have been practicing it for more than 20 years now. And this has made a huge transformation in our life. And just paying attention to our breath and meditating for 15-20 minutes every day, a lot of our doshas and vikritis get balanced out without anything else outside. Our breath and meditation is enough to kind of balance out a lot of stuff that's going on and keep our physical and mental health in check. So we're going to be teaching this workshop next weekend. I'd like to talk a little bit about our foundation. We are in 155 countries teaching this sky meditation for 40 years now, and about 450 million people have benefited from this practice. I'm very proud to say that because you know um, the vision of our founder, His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, is that we change the society, or we make an impact on the society one individual at a time, by empowering one individual at a time, physically and mentally. And this causes a wave of health and happiness. So we invite you to be a part of this journey with us next weekend. It's a 9-hour program, Friday evening, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning. It's 3 hours a day. So June 26th to the 28th, we will be teaching the Sky Breath and Meditation workshop. And right now, with all this going on right now, this COVID crisis, the workshop is being offered at 50% of the cost. It's never been so easily accessible for everybody. So please reach out to us. Our email addresses will come up in a bit, and you can contact us for more information, and we'll be happy to talk to you and give you more details, or you can go to our website and find it out too. So the Sky Breath.
We have talked a lot on why it's so important to balance our doshas. But just like food, oils, skin application, what you eat has an impact on balancing our doshas, our breath has a much more profound effect on balancing our doshas. That is the exploration that we'd like to invite you on June 26th, 27th, and 28th. Our email addresses are out there now for you to note down, and the link for the um, Sudarshan Kriya yoga class was also posted. So we hope to see you there, but never underestimate the power of your breath in balancing your doshas and giving you good health.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to the St. Louis Week organizers, including LA, for giving us this opportunity of discussing this topic that's very dear to our heart, Ayurveda, breath, and wellness. Namaste. See you all soon again.
Jai Gurudev. Namaste.